Why am I fan and not so fan of CGM?
Ready? Go! Yeah. Check it out.
CGM is amazing when you're actually trying to do something about it. When you're saying, okay, I'm going to change my diet. But using CGM as screening is a disaster. There's a lot of inaccuracy. People often stick them wrong. There's a lot of variability. You need to know a lot of tricks of what not to do when you're placing them. I've had people coming into the practice being completely mad that CGM is 150 just to recover that they stuck it in the wrong place. And for 2 weeks, they were like walking around being so scared that they're diabetic now. So you have to be a little careful. It's a tool. It's getting better. I think it's rapidly improving. I think it's a critical tool for anyone who's saying the following: how do I change my diet to improve my sugar? Then you have to use CGM. That's the best available tool, because you can literally measure the sugar right after you eat something for the next couple hours and see that this particular food does this to your sugar.
Yes,
Like
yeah,
I
yeah.
use CGM and found that grapes are bad for me. Like every time I would eat grapes, my sugar will spike 50 points versus I'd eat much sweeter foods like bananas. Nothing happens to the sugar whatsoever, not even a little bit. Why? Fascinating question. There are certain ways, sometimes you may be allergic to food or sensitive to a food, and that sometimes spikes the inflammatory response. And with that, the sugar follows. Sometimes you're simply processing certain sugars differently because each fruit or vegetable often have a slightly different variations of certain types of sugars and a fiber, and that's how we absorb. So the fiber slows down absorption of sugars, and you may have different parameters of how the sugar goes up after. So if you're really interested in that, definitely CGM is great. The frequency is unclear. I often recommend CGM, not necessarily even as a baseline. I wouldn't use CGM as a baseline. I would only apply it for people who are ready to do something with the result.